Welcome back to the Mom and Kid Show. My name is Araceli. I am the mom.
I am Daniel. I am the kid.
And I'm Damien, the other kid.
And today we have a great episode on real estate, which you guys have been part of
Lately.
And we're gonna get to talk about that. So before we do that, let's who has a joke? Go ahead. You want to go first?
My joke's really good though.
You go first.
Okay. Well, and then we're eating some
Potatoes.
rufles
Potatoes.
Potatoes, yeah.
con.
Potatoes.
We have some rufles con ketchup, con ranch,
Con means with and E means
and Valentina. Because you have to have some spice in it.
Why would you put that
Okay.
chip in the...
Damien, go ahead and start with your joke.
So, there once was a man. It's like half a joke, half a story, mainly a joke. It's a short story. So there once was a man who was in court along with the cop. So the man said, I'm not gonna speak until my lawyer is present. Until my lawyer is present. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And then the cop says, but you are the lawyer. The lawyer says, I'm still waiting for my present.
Okay.
Okay.
Have a funnier joke.
We'll have to come back to that at the end. But thank you for sharing that interesting joke. Daniel, want to share a shower thought?
Sure. Isn't it crazy how women are the only true bodybuilders?
Yeah, we are.
How?
Because they build bodies.
We are the best bodybuilders ever. And the best ever there was. Okay, I have a would you rather.
Oh my gosh, he's been saving this
I
all
have
week.
been saving it for I've been wanting to tell you, but we haven't had the chance to record because we were doing other things. But would you rather? So let's say you have money, right? You get a good chunk of money.
Chunk of money.
Good piece of money. A good chunk
Piece
of
of money?
Chunk of piece of what is it? How you would say? Yeah, good
Good
chunk
amount of money.
Good chunk of money.
Mhm.
No. Okay. Well, that made sense in my mind. So
Exactly, only in your mind.
my mind is wonderful. Anyways, would you rather, if you got that huge amount of money, live 6 months in a luxury home, really just enjoying it, not doing much, or live modestly for a year?
What is modest mean?
You're not
What does luxury mean? Like, what would be... Describe some of the things I
like
would
a
do.
nice house, like a more expensive house. You would be able to make payments to a vehicle that you wanted to get. You would be able to travel. You would be able to do but it's only 6 months, or a whole year where you're living in an alright house. You have the bills paid, but you're not taking those trips because you're making it last for 12 months. What would you
happen
rather
after the
do?
6 months in the...
Well, that money would be good. Do you want to do the 6 months and live all the way full out, or do you want to do 12 months and not full out? But it's 12 months. It's a whole year. You don't have to work compared to 6 months. I told you it was a good. Would you rather?
No, skip.
No, you have to
Probably
tell
do
me.
the wealthy life.
You would do 6 months of wealthy?
Yeah, even though it's for a shorter time, I'm never gonna get to experience. I mean, I might not get to experience that again. And experiences. when they're better.
I would do the modest life.
You would do the modest?
What would you do?
Because then I could build a business in the time that I'm not working. I wouldn't have to worry about having to pay the bills.
Build a pillow bait.
I mean, I would do that, but I was thinking about that, but
No, you weren't.
And it's fine, whichever route. But I'm just curious to see what you guys would.
What about
I don't know what I would.
No, you have to act.
I don't know. I mean, it's a whole year living modestly, but 6 months of I just my thought if I would use it for 6 months would be the experiences I would get, the person I would become, the people I would be surrounded with. Like if you lived in a very like higher end neighborhood, you're gonna be surrounded by like those people and but it's and the experiences if you go do like extreme sports or like anything that's out of the ordinary, those people are different. They're built different.
Built
And
different.
so the experience and the how you're really like those that having that in your surrounding, I think could change your life. But at the other on the other hand, it's a whole year of not having to like living modestly to where like we're it's a good life, but it's not
I,
like I don't know. I mean, I guess there's a security part of me that's like okay, a whole year of not having to work,
But then
and
there's an adventure part of you.
yeah, that it's like
I
would I
would
do
do
it?
the wealthy life because I could also, with the people that I'm surrounded with, I could also ask them for like I could become friends with them, and then they could also teach me some ways to make more money.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like you're by the people you're surrounded with, proximity. But so I don't think know what I would
Choose
You
one.
have to
Choose
pick.
one.
If it was the risk, I want to say I guess my deep gut says 6 months. Like my gut says 6 months of just going all out and just
I win.
Doing
enjoying
what?
enjoying life,
I don't know.
and then 6 months later I don't know what I'm gonna do. But I think I at the end, and that's me trying to say it. Even as I say it, I feel so irresponsible.
In those 6 months, I would become friends with the billionaires. I mean, yeah, the billionaires that I would be surrounded with. And then, whenever my time runs out, I'm gonna just ask them for like advice.
Well, yeah, that's a good idea. But all right, that was my would you rather. That was pretty good. Okay, let's jump into our lesson for today is real estate. We did do a real estate in the VYA, the Visionary Youth Accelerator, that we talked about, what it is, a little bit of how it, what you have to think about, and how you can buy a home. We're going to go in a little bit more differently this time. We are going to talk about what people don't know about real estate and
A lot.
a few other things. And we're going to finish up with a HUD settlement statement, which is what you're going to get at closing, which it's a lot of numbers, like with letters, like algebra. No, it's just a lot of numbers, and so I'm just trying to explain it to you guys, so you guys have an idea of what it is. The resource will be on 7streamscashflow.com. And you'll be able to download it and check out our other activities that we've created these past sessions. So what is real estate? We want to start by,
A real estate.
okay. I failed as the BYA instructor.
Whenever you're like selling
What is
stuff,
real estate? What is real estate?
Owning
mean?
land.
It's land, right? It's the land and property. It's whatever is on it. We're not talking about owning real estate. We're saying what is real estate. The real estate is a property. So how can you? So a lot of people don't know how to. I guess we're going to go into real estate as investments. Okay, because we can have a real estate, a property that we live in, but we're going to be talking about properties that we rent out. We lease out, that we get money coming in. And what are those called?
Rental properties.
Yes, but what is the other term for anything that makes you money?
Asset.
An asset, yes. Daniel gets a point.
No, I get a chip. You don't get a chip, Damien.
So,
I already dipped it.
real estate, how can you start? So, one of the ways, I mean, if you're going to buy a house you're going to live in, you can house hack. And after 2 years, usually the years that the contract will say that you have to live there, it's 2 years. So if you live there 2 years, and the reason that people house hack is because they get lower interest rates and
What
better
is house
loans.
hacking?
So house hacking is whenever you live there for 2 years or whatever amount.
Whatever the contract says.
Yeah, and then after that, you move on and you rent that property. So you make it an investment. So you're living in there for 2 years, you fix it up if you want to a little bit or whatever. But after 2 years or 3 years, whatever it says, you move on to buy another property that you can
So
live
you
in
have to
as
live
well.
in the property for a certain amount.
If you're gonna do it, because if it's your house, then you got it under different loan rules, like, or loan conditions. So the only way to get certain loans is if you live in it, because they don't take it as an investment. You get lower interest rates as well. So you can house hack a house. Let's say you can house hack a duplex, and you can live on one side and rent the other out. They allow that. So you just got better interest rate, and your loan terms are better.
And they're paying off your mortgage.
So after 2 years or whatever it says again, then you can buy another property that you're gonna say you're gonna live in and rent these out. So now that's how some people get started. They go on living for 2 or 3 years in a property, move on to the next one to rent it out, and then that one they live in 2 or 3, and then they move on and on. All right, so that's why people start building up their real estate portfolio with
What's a
house-
portfolio?
Portfolio is just a term they give as far as, like, you're gonna create, to put it in basic terms, a spreadsheet or a form that says this is what you owe, this is what you own. So it'll have the property, how much you owe on it, and your net value, your net worth of everything. We'll go into that's a good question.
So like house hacking's like a win-win because you get to live somewhere and it's counting towards like the time that you have to live there.
That what? Can you repeat that?
Like, so house hacking is like a win-win because you get to live there, and once, like, after the 2 or 3 years, you can rent it.
Yeah, so a lot of people do that. And that's because I think it's also easier to qualify for that for your house. So,
And either way, you're gonna have to.
because if you buy an investment home, it'll say on a piece of paper that you sign you cannot live in there. So if you buy a house under an investment loan, the terms will be that you cannot live
So
in
can
there.
you buy a house, and then as soon as you buy it, rent it out?
Depending on what type of loan you got. So that's the thing. You have to make sure that you understand what loan, because if you sign that you're not living there, and then they come back and find out you are living there,
How would they find out?
because people sometimes will put the bills under their name. If you said you're not gonna live there and the property taxes are it's your house, your where you live at, you put it because they save taxes. If you have an exemption, then homestead exemption, then that's another way they find out. And I mean, they also, I imagine, have people that
Snitch.
Can you rent it
that
to
will
yourself?
look into this. You cannot rent it to yourself. It is not. That's
Wait,
not.
what if you rent it to someone
That's basically
and
just
then they rent it to you?
that's basically just living there.
Yeah.
You pay.
So
your
you
mortgage
can't live
monthly.
there. So you've signed a paper. So okay, the other way to start owning property is creative financing, and this is with hard money lenders, private money lenders. These are not like the banks. So banks and mortgage companies, they'll lend you the money, but hard money lenders are just more privately owned. So they will allow you to get more money, higher interest rates, and they usually will do like a 2 or 3 years, and then they want their money back, and you can negotiate with them. Private money lenders, same thing. They're just it's more. It goes like in levels. Private, it's the mortgage banks, mortgage companies, and then hard money lenders and private money lenders. Private money lenders would be like a one person kind of thing. I'm borrowing from one person, and the hard money lenders are more of a group. Okay. Real estate. All right. We talked about the definition. Types. We have homes, duplexes, fourplex, sixplex. The sixplex, if it's after fourplex, so it's sixplex, five. I can't remember if it's 5 or 6plex, but a sixplex requires an LLC. It's no longer under your name that you're going to do the transaction. So for a regular home, a duplex, a fourplex, you can go buy it as Daniel or Damien. You can go to the bank and be like, I am buying this But for a sixplex, you have to have it under a LLC, which is a limited liability company, which has to be registered in the state of where you live.
So what does
And
an LLC do?
the reason they do an LLC is because an LLC protects. So an LLC protects your personal property from your business. So if somebody sues you, if you don't have an LLC and someone sues you, then they can take everything away from you. But an LLC will just like kind of like build like a shield, so they can only take whatever's inside of it.
So do people get multiple LLCs?
They do get multiple LLCs. We'll talk about the LLC structures in the one of the business episodes for
Is there
VYA.
any more? Like, is there like a twoplex? I mean, a threeplex and a fiveplex?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I guess they're really not common. They're really rare, but I really don't know. I know there's a threeplex, but I don't know about fiveplex.
Is there any higher than a sixplex?
Yes, that becomes like small apartment buildings, and then the commercial. So yes. So we have the sixplex, commercial, and then what I found interesting is that we also have. So we're talking about this is for real estate, like property that we can own, right? There's also virtual real estate, which is website, domains, YouTube. Like that's. I thought it was a different way of seeing it, but it is actually you're owning that property. So if you own a domain,
Would a copyright kind of be like a real estate because you own that?
yeah, I mean it'd be anything that you own as a property, anything attached to it. So I thought that was pretty interesting.
That's pretty cool.
Okay, so once you get your loan, you got your loan, it'll have the terms of how long, 20, 30, 40 years, the payment amount. But at the end of the day, like the banks don't hold all the power, you could say. You can pay off your loan sooner. And what you have to watch out is there's prepayment penalties. So when you get a loan, sometimes the bank will say, if you pay me back all of it in a year, you owe me 3% of the payment, 3% of the whole loan. Why do you think they do that?
So they can make more money?
Because the first couple of years, their interest, what the payment that you're paying, it's so high in interest that they're making all the money. After 2 or 3 years, they're like, okay, we made some money. Now you can pay me and there's no penalty. Other banks will say, no, there's no prepayment penalty and you can pay me whenever you are, you have the money.
Is there like a limit for how long you can own a property?
So they usually take, what do you mean own the property? Like pay
Or
it?
like long wise? Like, is there a limit for like how many years you can own a property?
No. That's how people inherit land.
So as far as owning, no, as long as you pay your property taxes. That is one of the requisites. But as far as a loan, I mean, they usually go to 40 years. Sometimes that's the what I've seen the max. And it just, imagine getting a house at 40 and then 40 years, that's 80 years. So that's why they kind of do those years depending. And the longer the term, the more you're going to pay on interest.
Is there an age limit to how young you can buy a property?
I don't know that. That's a good question. 16 or 17. I've heard of 16 or 17-year-olds getting, no, not 6 or 7, of getting property. So
I heard that this one kid got a property, but it was under his dad's name.
Well, now
At
imagine
14.
kids
or
can
13.
pay their parents and the parents can get the property. Kids just pay for it through the parents, but
Oh, yeah.
once
Yeah.
they're old enough to get the property.
yeah, we'll have to see about that. Because that's a very good question. I just don't know the answer. So payments, and talking about payments, if you give a payment of an extra $100, that cuts your payoff like by a bunch. So if you give it monthly, there's calculators online that you can use to find out.
Mortgage calculator?
There are mortgage calculators to find out how you guys, like if you pay $50 more or $100 more, if you make one extra payment a year, All right, we had a glitch. Our device decided to stop recording.
And then the bowl just refilled itself somehow.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So if you see that, that's just crazy.
Where were we?
We're in the mortgages. So a mortgage is something. A mortgage payment is something you're going to pay monthly. It's going to have your principal, which is the loan itself that you borrowed from them, plus interest, plus insurance mortgage insurance that they charge sometimes, and yeah, so that's what you're gonna pay monthly. And monthly you'll get, and sometimes you'll pay property taxes with it, and at the end of or whenever taxes are due, they'll pay the city. They'll pay the taxes for you. Okay. Mortgage. Yeah.
Nope.
So something that you need to think about when you are buying a house is to look at, obviously you're going to look at the details, where it's at, if you like the schools around them, but also think about property taxes and how much you are going to end up paying every year. If it's going up in value, then that's a win for you, but also taxes are going to go up.
What do they tax you on?
They tax you on the house itself, and where it's at, and around, everything that's happening around it. They base it off different factors, but
So if I had a house and I had a porch in front and it was roofed and it was just for the cars, would they charge me on that?
sometimes they will.
And sometimes they won't.
So
They can't consider it a covered patio or covered area, and then if you have a building,
I thought they just charged you on living space.
I don't
Because
really
I know for
know.
square footage, not even your garage counts as square footage to your house.
also,
That's a good question. I don't
if
really
you're
know.
renting the house, you also want to keep in mind how much it's gonna cost you to fix it up. Sometimes.
So you have to think about property taxes, insurance, get quotes, and see if they're you can find a better one. And then we have repairs that, like you said, think about. Look at the roof. How old is the roof? Look at the AC units. Look
The
at
floor tiles.
the flooring. But like the hidden ones are like the AC, that you don't know how long it's gonna last.
The boiler.
The heater, the boiler, the fridge, all electronic appliances. Because once they go, then you're going to have money to put into. You're gonna have to buy them.
So those things are a bit more expensive.
There's warranty insurances that you can buy to where it's like they will cover like certain appliances. I don't know how well they work, to be honest, but according to them, if you pay for it, and then if anything happens to an appliance in a certain amount of time, they cover it. But again, I don't know. I've never tried them. So mortgages. Let's talk a little bit more about mortgages. The loan itself, you're usually gonna have to give a down payment. Depending on the type of loan, but if it's an investment loan, it's usually gonna be between a 15 to 25% that you're gonna have to put as down payment. So if you have $100,000 house that you buy, let me know, because I need a $100,000 house. But you will pay between $15 to $25,000 upfront. That's what you have to have. And sometimes people will use the hard money lenders and the private money lenders for that money as well sometimes, and be able to qualify and then have to pay them back. Commercial or investment properties have a higher interest rate. There's other loans called DSCR loans, which they lend you based off. So whenever you get a loan, they're going to base it off of your credit score. They're going to base it off of how much money you make, your taxes. But if you get a DSCR loan, then it's going to be asset based. So it's going to depend. It's going to be based off how much the property is valued at, and how much how much rent you can give it, but you cannot live in it. So if it's a ratio, and if the ratio I think is less or over one, I can't remember. I can only remember the one. then they'll be able to lend you money on it. And you don't have to put in, like, it doesn't matter how much you make or anything like that. They'll base it off of that.
That's a DSCR.
Mm-hmm. You have to make sure that you know that there's fixed rates and the rates that are flexible. So fixed rate is one that's gonna stay the same throughout the whole time. Other ones, if they fluctuate, your interest rate will go up and down, up and down, up and down. So if interest rates go up, you're gonna get higher interest. You're gonna pay higher interest. If they go down, you'll pay lower interest.
It kind of implies in the
Yeah.
name. So which one's better
As far as what?
as far as like for the consumer, fixed or
Fixed. Well, fixed, it's less risky. You already know what you're going to be paying. But, I mean, flexible, depends on. If the rates go down, then it's a win-win. You know? Okay. Rental, you have to have, you're going to have tenants. You're going to require them to give a deposit up front. This deposit is used for anything that when they move out, anything that needs to be repaired. If they move out and they leave the house good, then you get 30 to 45 days to give them their money back. If you use some money to repair it, then you only give them what's left. You should have contracts.
how much is a deposit?
Usually a month. The first month plus the same, it matches the first month or the monthly rent.
Rent was $2,000. It would be $4,000, including
What are
the deposit.
tenants?
Tenants are people who are tenants. People who are renting your property.
No, it's just 10 little bugs. 10 ants.
Tenants. No, it's people. It's the people that are renting your property. The renters. That's
Some
what
people
they're
call them
called.
tenants. Some people
Tenants.
call them
Landlords. Landlords is the one who owns it. That's who they paying. Tenants are the ones who are leasing it, who are renting it.
would also like be renters.
Renters, yeah. But tenants is a more technical.
Biological term.
Yeah.
I always used to think tenants were people who helped you with the house.
No, that's maintenance.
Housekeeping.
Okay. Let's talk about taxes. We're almost wrapping up.
Yeah.
Taxes. Real estate investing is considered a passive income. Right? Considered.
Not by
According
her.
to you.
According to you
not
guys this
according
past
to-
week, did you guys have fun fixing up?
I learned, but
I learned that. I mean,
So let's take a break and talk about what you guys learned as far as, because this week we went out there and fixed and did some repairs on a rental property, and you guys got to do some of
Lot
the
of things.
repairs.
a lot of things.
What did you guys learn?
I learned how to replace a sink,
how to install a faucet to the sink.
how to install a sink.
You just
Oh, I got a bunch of like dirty water in my face. That's nasty.
You guys painted.
I pressure washed. We prepped for the paint.
yeah, we had to unscrew all the outlets, and it was
Outlet covers.
And whenever you're putting them on, it's so like risky because you can't tighten it too much because then it'll break because those things are just plastic and with screws. Yeah. But if you put them too loose, then it'll be bad.
Yeah. What else?
We also
What else did we do?
You guys power washed. You power washed outside. You
Oh,
took
we-
some
we
branches.
cut some leaves off of some trees.
Me and
The
Nino,
leaves.
The branches.
I put some leaves into some bags, so kind of raking.
Yeah. And you saw that the trees, you have to make sure they're not hitting the roof and
Because that's what the inspectors look at.
yeah. What about
No, appraisers.
appraisals? Inspectors, they also look at that. What about
Oh, how to clean
how to clean?
ish,
Yeah.
because I already kind of knew.
The details of the painting, the door paintings, and
Oh, that you can
tell me something that we saw this house, right? And then you saw it paint right after we painted it. What was your
Biggest or what was
impression?
what? What was the impression? when after.
Yeah.
I felt like it looked so much better, and especially on the inside, I felt like it was more welcoming because we repainted the white with like a more beige.
No,
White?
we just it was the same color white. It's just we covered like some pieces that were messed up.
Well, I feel like now that we repainted it, it looks so much more welcoming.
I feel like it gives it like a less abandoned feel.
You know,
Right.
because, well, the floor still needs some help.
Well, they're gonna do that. They're gonna be putting in floor, but just with the paint job,
It
like
helped
it
so much.
changed it so much, and that's crazy. Too, that if you buy property, if you go out there and see rentals, to buy property for rentals, and you know that with the paint, it's gonna look so much better.
I also learned that you just take a little. Well, I already knew this, but you take a little piece of the wall of the paint, you take it to Home Depot, and they can paint color match it.
I actually didn't know that.
We did it.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting. What else? Is there anything else that you guys want to
I
add?
had a thought, but I forgot what it was.
All right. Well,
I mean, I saw the bottom of the floor, like under the floor.
yeah, because they're gonna be removing that carpet and even the power wash. I feel like, and if you power wash the driveway, and
My forearms are sore.
yeah, so we'll see the final pictures,
When
the
they,
final
when
view.
they put the floor in.
And see how much of a difference.
I feel like the floor is gonna be one of the biggest changes.
I know, because it's mainly the whole house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, back to the taxes. It is a passive. Well, it's not considered truly. I mean, it's not truly passive
Oh my
because you have to put in work.
But
You
does it-
guys saw the work that you
but-
guys have to put in,
But does it make you money
but it
when you're
makes
not working?
money while we're not there. Yes, so that's why it's considered passive.
That's what.
What does this mean in regards to taxes? Any active, like if you have a business and you're like a 1099 person, a subcontractor, you pay self-employment tax.
We talked
That's-
about the 1099 in our previous episode.
Yes, but if for rentals, even though they're making money, you do not pay self-employment tax. So you're just gonna pay federal taxes on it, which is one of the reasons people own own property, because you don't pay the self-employment tax
So you get taxed on income taxes from
from the income. Yes, whatever. But you can write off stuff like everything that you repairs, everything that you put into it, you can write it off as well. There is capital gains that you do pay if you sell a property and it's over so much amount of money.
what are capital gains?
Capital gains is the excess that you pay. Remember, it's money that you made over whatever it cost you to buy. Remember, we talked about it on the taxes. So one way that people get away with not paying those capital gains for taxes on real estate is that they'll do a 1031 exchange, what it means you buy a property and then whenever you sell it, let's say you bought it at 500 and you sell it at 700, 800,000.
You could have said 600.
Then you would get taxed for some capital gains, right? Well, the way they do it is they sell that property and they do a 1031 exchange. It means that all of that money goes into a bigger property. So if they sell one house, and with that money they can go buy a duplex or a fourplex, and they don't have to pay capital gains. They just transfer the money from one place to the other, and that's allowed as far as real estate goes. You have to have like people, like a company that does that, and they know all about that. Depreciation, depreciation. Why is that funny?
Remember a little skit?
What? Oh, you're depreciating.
My kids are depreciating.
That means that the IRS, like for taxes, the IRS will take off a yearly amount of your taxable income, But at the end of whenever you're gonna sell it, I think they put it back into it depending on the years. It's just a whole hassle. Just know that it has to do with taxes. So talk to your tax advisor about depreciation if you own a property. Let's talk about the Bible. The Bible mentions real estate 2,000 times,
2,000 times?
according
Exactly.
to where my source. Yeah. Well, I don't know if exactly, but around 2,000 times. And Jesus was always telling parables, stories about masters and people owning vineyards and stuff like that. So it is something biblical to own property and to steward it well.
I mean, technically,
To,
you don't even own it. God's just letting you run with
Yes,
it.
so you're just a manager, but I think it is biblical to own property, and it is one of the wealth paths. You start with one, and then soon you
One of the
have.
more complicated wealth paths.
You think it's complicated?
I think there's a lot that goes into it. Like you have to have, I don't know. There's just a lot of things that you have to have good tenants. You have to have. Then when you want to sell it, you have to get, or the people who want to buy it have to get an appraisal, and then the HOA is always on your back about having to tell your tenants to.
Oh yeah,
pick
yeah.
up stuff.
HOAs is something that you have to think about.
What does
Bringing
HOA
that up.
stand for?
Homeowners Association.
Homeowners, so they go around checking to make sure all the properties stay kind of the same, and you pay a monthly or yearly fee for that, or
So-
quarterly.
What could they do if you haven't cut your grass?
They'll send
get
you
on
a
you,
notice.
They'll
They'll send you
fee
a
you.
letter, and if you don't
Abide.
abide by it, if you don't do it, then they'll end up putting a lien on your house, which is you can't sell that house until that's paid off.
What?
A lien. It's called a lien. So they have ownership. It's kind of like it's just saying, you know what? I'm putting a lien on this house. You can't sell it until you pay me. And if you sell it, I'm gonna get paid first because they're holding part. They have some ownership of the deed. The
Is
deed is the
something-
type, like the paper that tells you who owns that
Like
house.
for Monopoly.
Yeah,
The
that's
deed
what I was
card.
thinking about.
Mm-hmm.
So can something happen if you have too many liens?
Probably. They could. I don't know. Maybe for.
They
I don't know. I
can
really
if
don't
you
know.
have like too many leaves on your leaves.
Liens.
If you have
No.
too many leaves
Oh.
on your sidewalk, they'll give you a lien. They'll lean on you. And they'll push you over and then you'll fall.
I don't know.
Then you'll
about
cry.
that, but okay. So yes, questions. How do people make money in real estate without ever buying a house?
Oh, I know this one because they ask the seller or they figure out what the price is, and then they find a buyer without even selling the house.
So
And then they ask for the money, and then let's say they were selling a house for $100,000, and the person wanted to, and you were selling it for $150,000. You wouldn't even have it, but you would sell it. You would get the $100,000.
can you sell something if you don't own it though?
You
No.
can.
So they would pay you the $150,000,
Mhm.
and then you would pay $100,000 to the person who's selling it.
They're called wholesalers. And yes, they do allow that. Obviously, you do 2 closings
How's
for
that
that.
legal?
You do 2 closings or 1 closing, but it has to work in a way where it's like funded that day. Or we've worked with people that do 2 closings, so we buy a property from this person, right? But this person has made a deal with the owners of the house. So the day that we sign, they get the funds because we sign and we have a mortgage, a loan. The bank pays them that day, and then they go and they close on the other house. So it's a double closing, and
But that's
they
like-
got that money from the
But you have to make sure that the person who owns the house is actually willing to sell to you.
Yeah, well, there's ways like a title insurance. I think also they look into that to make sure everything is good according to it's not like just if you work with the title company, and that's another point that you guys are bringing up is you work with the title company. They're also going to make sure that everything is good according to.
So whenever you do that, you're basically like the person who closes the deal.
You're like a drop shipper.
You're a wholesaler. That's what they're called.
And so,
And so-
one more
They
question.
get
Oh,
paid
one
for
more
that.
answer to that. You could go into a job like an appraiser or an inspector, and you could make money in real estate, but you don't have to own anything. Or you could be someone.
Yeah, that's true.
technically-
But I think what this is trying to say is
What David said.
when you buy rental properties, who ends up paying the mortgage?
Technically,
Yeah,
the tenants.
tenants. So you're making money. They're paying off your mortgage, and sometimes they even pay you enough for you to have a little bit of cash. But that's how you start making. That's how you start owning stuff, and they're the ones paying for it, not you. And after a couple of years, I think you can start counting that income as your income for
Or you could buy a hotel.
as taxes.
You could make a hotel.
True. Okay, why do some families stay renters for generations while others build wealth through property? Why do you think some people buy houses, others don't?
Because some people are scared. Like,
Because they don't have the knowledge.
They don't have the knowledge.
some people are scared that whenever they buy it, everything's going to go down in value. Or whichever ways. Down in value.
Yeah, and especially with an economy that's not stable. Yeah, I think that's one of the reasons why the knowledge that they don't know how, because they think that you have to have so much money up front, or has to have. So it's just they don't have that knowledge of being able to buy those properties. Do you think there's risk in buying properties?
Yes.
What would be risks?
Like, you don't know if people are actually going to get it or, like, want
Yeah,
to rent it.
you don't even
Rent
know
it.
if people are going to rent it. You don't know if the tenants are going to be treating the house nicely.
So that could
you
be.
don't know how much, like, the repairs are. Like, sometimes you know how much the first repairs are going to cost, but once you have your first tenants, then you don't know.
So let's say you have a house that's renting out for $1,000 a month, right? Out of the $1,000, you have $500 that goes into the payments. You have $500 left over for you. So what's 500 times 12?
600. Wait, 500 times 12? 6,000.
6,000. So you made 6,000 that year, right? Not taking into account income tax and none of that, because you still have to pay that. But let's say 6,000, and if the tenants you had destroyed your house, your AC gave in, whatever, you're in $12,000. You had a loss of $6,000 that year. So those are the things that you have to think
And
about.
some people they would stop and sell the property, but some people would just keep the house and know that they would get more money later.
Yeah, I mean, it's
a lot
you
of
ha-
risk.
there is risk in any investment, and I think that's one of the things that people don't decide to buy real estate because of that.
Also, the market.
Speaking of investments, I think soon I'm gonna invest into pennies.
You're gonna invest into pennies.
Yeah, they're gonna be extinct soon.
What? I don't know about that anymore.
They're going to stop making them in 2026.
What habits or mindsets do you think stop people from learning about property ownership?
They think that they don't need it.
What habits or mindset? Yeah, they don't. They think they don't need it.
What if it all goes wrong?
So you think it's a lack or scarcity? I mean, abundance or scarcity?
For what?
The mindset. Do you think
Scarcity.
they have an abundance or scarcity?
Scarcity.
Yeah. How's owning a YouTube channel or an online store similar to owning physical property?
Because you have to keep on, being to God. I guess you have to keep on making it constantly.
No, I think it's because. That's a good question. How is a YouTube channel or a website similar?
To owning physical property.
Because you both make money, and both of them you make money.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're both a risk.
But it's because it's Well, I think they're similar in that you own that information. You own the way you do it. You own that
Well, I don't know
store.
about YouTube channel.
Not well, a YouTube channel. The only reason it's the YouTube channel is because of you.
Or else it would just be a tube channel.
Bruh.
Well, you're the one
Isn't that
providing
concerning?
the information. They're following you. They're not following YouTube per se. Like they're following you for the information. So, and also you could sell a bunch of stuff on it, right?
Oh, you can sell. There's also like merch where you can sell on there.
You can link your business to it.
Yeah, so you can sell on there, and
You
you can
do.
also sell YouTube channels and make money from YouTube. So you can make a lot of money from YouTube.
Yeah. Well, you could build YouTube channels, get an audience, and then sell those.
Yeah. That's what
So
some people do.
that's like a fixer up, where you buy a house, you fix it, and then you sell it.
Some people buy YouTube channels that are like don't work anymore. Like people don't, or they've kind of died down, and then they fix it up a bit, and then they sell it.
Yeah.
Fix and flip.
Basically what it is.
Okay, so the activity, and then we're gonna wrap up.
Oh, you didn't talk about fix and flips.
I did not talk about fix and flips because there's so much more about fix and flips and long term, short term. We did talk about that in the BYA.
Okay,
So,
that's fine.
there is an activity that will be online, and it's
At
7streamscashflow.com. And what it is, it's a HUD settlement statement. So a HUD stands for Housing and Urban Development Settlement Statement.
I think that's a lot more words.
So that's why they say HUD.
HUD.
So what it is that at the day of closing, you're going to get a bunch of paperwork, like 50 pages of paperwork. And one of the primary ones that you have to pay attention to is the HUD. The HUD will have information like the buyer, the seller, but it has information, and it has information like the addresses and stuff, how much, but there's on two sides. On the left side, you're going to have the buyer information, and on the right side, you're going to have the seller information. And so, let me
So
show you
will the
guys
buyer
here,
and
but
seller-
they'll be able to do it online.
So
Here,
the
let's put
buyer
it in here.
and seller get one.
Yes, well, both of you are going to close. You guys don't usually close the same day. I mean, at the same time. The same day, yes, not at the same time. So you'll see this is the HUD.
Mm-hmm.
This is the left side is for the buyer. This is for the seller. And you'll have information as far as like the amount. I can't see this from here because they're so tiny. But it have the amount, how much you paid from settlement charges. Right here?
No, that little plus.
Yeah.
Zoom in.
Okay, perfect. So it'll have the summary, the amount that it was purchased, the settlement charges, which is the closing costs. This is explained in the second page. And then we have the deposit earnest money that the other person paid before. So whenever you're going to get a house, you have to pay a deposit or earnest money that's saying, hey, this is in good faith. I want this house. This is how much I'm going to give for now. And then they pay an option money too, which an option money is just saying, hey, we want an option for 14 days to see if we want to buy the house. And in those 14 days, they can do inspections. They can do other things. But if
So
they,
it's basically like a long version of Sleep on It.
yeah, but they pay for it. And then we
You would
have
have to pay to go to sleep.
the taxes, and we have the assessments, HOA, anything like that. Some mortgage companies will ask you to pay for a full year of property taxes and insurance upfront. So, and then they do it a monthly payment because they want to have some money in the escrow account, which is just an account that they're holding these funds in for when they have to use them. Okay, and then at the bottom, it'll say cash from, and this is what the buyer's gonna give up, and this is what the seller is going. So on the other side for the seller, it's talking about how much, the house value and how much they end up having to pay themselves because When you buy a house, like for example, property taxes, when you buy a house in June, the seller is responsible from January till June, until the date of closing. And then the buyer, so they're still responsible for that part. And then from June forward, the buyer is responsible. So they split it up. And then this is how much they're going to end up getting. So see the differences?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so it's not exactly on this scenario, the buyer is having to pay 56 is what they have to bring that day, $56,000. And then the seller is going to get $50,000, 938. And where did the other money go? It went onto all these different routes. Second page has, let's see, exit it out. Or,
Escape.
the second page has, where'd my second page go?
I think you went through both of them.
No. Okay, well, the second page has the settlement broken down. I know how to do it. Here it is.
Oh, okay.
It shows blank. It's weird.
Me too.
Okay.
It's too much.
Okay.
And it's broken down as far as to what the title, the interest rates, and everything that they charged for. So whenever you're getting a loan, and I know this is a lot of information, but you're getting a loan, they're going to say points. I'm going to charge you 2 points for it, 2% of the whole loan, but they call it points. Tell me why they're going to change the name on it. I don't know, but they say points. So and I think that's a lot of people get confused because they're like, I'm going to get this loan. How much are you going to charge me for it? Oh, we'll charge you 3 points. Can we just say 3% for the whole loan? Like
They start with the same letter.
I don't know, but so yeah. So you'll find this activity. It's gonna ask you questions of like what's the interest rate, so that to help you kind of learn how to getting familiar with the HUD.
The HUD.
Yeah. Okay. That's a wrap up.
That's
for
a
today.
wrap up. This has been the Mom and Kid Show, and we will see
Whoa,
you.
hold up.
No, we won't.
He's already to finish. Hold up.
They start to do a little thing.
We have the activities
What
on
little thing?
7streamscashflow.com.
Oops.
7streamscashflow.com. There is a 2-minute quiz to find out how financially healthy you are. And yeah, anything else that you want to add?
Like 7, like the word 7, streams, cashflow.com, no spaces, of course.
If you have questions, leave them in the comments.
In the comments, tell us if you
What
want
you
to
thought about
explain
this.
anything. I thought it was really informational.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Now we can.
And if you have any comments, then
This
put them
has-
in the comments.
Bruh, this has been the Mom and Kid Show, and we will.
see. Oh, no. And we
This
have
ha-
to,
Y'all can say the last part.
Okay.
This has been the Mom and Kid Show, and we will see you at the table.